Hello, my name is Stephen Braybrook, aka the Movement Man, and this is the first of what will be a series of vlogs outlining some of my ideas, views and opinions on the current ideologies of human movement and the future, what we can expect to see from future developments within human movement. And more importantly, it's wrapped up in a biomechanical bubble. I get a lot of questions asked me, why am I speaking the way I speak at times? What is some of the views that I have? Can you go into a little bit more depth? What is the future if you don't believe that the current theories of biomechanics is correct? And these series of vlogs are intended to expand upon my ideas and allow me to give information to you guys that allows you to take some information yourself and use it. So my background is I have a Master's in Biomechanics, which allowed me to delve very deep within the science and the foundation of biomechanics. And this is where I started to question some of the ideas and ideologies that I was being taught, and that when I went into that rabbit hole, and I'm still in that rabbit hole, how it gets, the ideologies become even more of a fallacy when it speaks about the human body and the biological system within human movement. Firstly, this is biomechanics principle, biological system, or biology and mechanics, machine. So when you put those two together, the body or the human form, the biological system is a machine. It's the first clue really that these two are not quite correlating. As a trained biomechanist, we were taught to look at the classical mechanical laws, then give some form of computational, computer, graphic, design, mechanical principles built on these foundational laws into a nice computer package, and then we were using statistics, mechanics to then underpin and underline what we were saying. So when we were looking at this classical laws, classical mechanics, first thing we did was isolate the part out of the system, so take one small part of the whole chain, put our classical mechanical laws that was built on Newtonian physics and Descartes' coordinate systems and Breed-Lever principles and Hookean laws of elasticity and Euclidean laws of geometry, and we were representing this one point in time away from the whole, so it was isolating away from the mass. And then we were putting it into some computer package to then make it look like it was slightly bigger than it was, and looking at it as if this one dimension in time, or this one point on a system that we can now mathematically equate. So we've got this one point isolated from the part, put into a computer package so we can see it on screen, and then we can start using these mathematical principles to try to underpin the understanding of biomechanics as this one isolated part representing the whole based on pattern mathematics, which we're trying to find the number to represent. Once we had that, we put it into a software package, a statistical analysis, and then it shredded all the numbers around that the package didn't want, to find this one number to represent this one isolated point in time that represented the human biological system. For me, that became a huge problem. When I'm isolating, using a computer package to mathematically to use the graphics of the package to try to find a mathematical pattern that did not exist for the isolated part, because the isolated part is not the whole. Then this mathematics that I was using was used and based on the old principles of physics that were designed for an innate object, designed around the celestial mechanics that you see up in the sky, to try to find a point in time to represent a constant, a fixed, a predetermined, an isolated and a consistent pattern. This pattern was fixed because that's the only way you can mathematically equate anything, if you fix the point. As a biomechanist, we were designed to use quantitative data. We had to find a number to match our findings, and if that number matched the findings, then we had a successful study. If it didn't, we did it all over again to use a different number to mathematically represent this one isolated part. I believe that we are not an isolated part, and I believe that no mathematics can actually form the quantitative data of human form, because we are too problematic in the chaotic and the non-deterministic and non-linear focus of the human biological system. There's more to come, and hopefully that's just a very quick insight into why I believe that biomechanics is not the true design for the biological system, and how we can stay away from the mathematics stay away from the old physical laws of classical systems, stay away from the computational mathematics and the statistical mathematics in designing a new laws and new sets of ideologies for the human form. Thank you guys for listening, and hopefully you'll get vlog 2 very soon. Yours in movement, the Movement Man.